Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm 𝗤𝗎𝗄𝐄, and I'm going to show you how I achieved this look. It was inspired by one of the looks I've done previously, and it looks a lot like this and this. And we're going to do this using the Revolution Birds of Paradise palette, and it looks a lot like this one. It's very tropical, very colorful, and very beautiful. And you can find this one at Target. I believe they still carry it. And let's get to the makeup. My face is all prepped and primed, and we're ready for our makeup. We're gonna go in with our Yellow Canary eyeshadow. We're gonna use our pointed brush for this. And we're just going to take our Yellow Canary and we're going to place that right on the inner corner of our eye, and I'm just bringing it upwards towards my eyebrow. Not bringing it too high, just keeping it on the lid and crease area. Placing a bright color like this will make your eye look more awake. And we're just going to place that all the way to the center section of our eyes. That way we could blend it into the orange color we're going to go into next. And then once you have all that color on, we're just going to move on to the next color. We're going to build these colors up. We're going to go in with our orange color. The orange color we're going to use from this palette is called 𝗤𝗂𝐴. And we're going to take another pointed brush for this one. We're going to take our 𝗤𝗂𝐴 and we're going to place that from the center outward. If you want the pigment to be a little heavier, you can always use a light concealer on your eye that's almost like a white. And then once you put the powder over it, it should seal any creasing from happening. I bring this out to a point. I just like the pointed look on my eye. You can round it off if you want it rounder. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take me a fluffy brush for blending. And I'm going to blend out all the edges, just so I have a smoother surface. And it looks like it just fades into your skin and melts into your skin. And then once you get that all finished on the edges, you're going to go into the center and do the same thing. Now it's going to take most of it off. We're just going to rebuild it until we get the consistency we want with the colors. We're going to go back in with our canary and we're going to add that on top. This time I kind of brush it towards the orange. I take 𝗤𝗂𝐴 and I do the same thing and I blend it towards the yellow. We just want this to get even brighter. You can always take the yellow and mix it into that orange and do the same with the orange. That way it starts to fade into the color. And then we take our fluffy brush again and blend. I'm just building up the yellow as well as the orange just to make them a little more vibrant. Now that we have that built up, we're going to light-handedly blend it a little bit. And we want to blend out the edges again. This will smooth out the edges and prevent any harsh edges. And then once you complete that, we're going to go in with an even darker orange. And I use the same pointed brush that I use in the orange and just get the darker orange. The darker orange we're going to use is called Cardinal. And I just take that darker orange and I place it in the crease area. This will deepen and create depth in the eye, creating a more smoked out look. Once you finish with that, I just take a white, and that white is going to be the cockatoo. And then you take the white and you put it in the corner. This will brighten up this section of the eye and make it pop more. I'm just going to take the yellow and go over top of that white, and that'll make it a bright yellow in the corner. You're going to take a Q-tip, and then you're going to take your makeup remover I use this yellow one. It's a little less oily feeling on the eye. And I take it where I'm going to put eyeliner. You want to use this one because the oily one, when you put makeup over top of it again, it kind of like smears. So I use one that's a little bit less oily. And then you take the dry side and wipe that wetness away. Now we have the area where we're going to put our nude eyeliner. And I just used the Tarte Shape Tape for this. Mine is the color Light. I use that as concealer as well. And we're going to take a flat brush for this. And you put some on the tip, like that. And you're going to go over the top of that area that you created. I place the concealer on the outer corner of my eye and I just angle it the same direction my waterline is going. If you struggle with making a perfect wing, you can always reach for some washi tape to perfect your wing liner. Once you get that consistency, you're going to take a nude eyeshadow, and there isn't one in this palette. This Pumpkin Spice palette does have a nude in it, and it's these two right here. And you're going to take another flat brush, and I think I'm going to go with Everything Nice. It's a nude color. And you just want to set the entire eye there that you put all that concealer on. And this also helps you perfect the eyeliner as well. And you can brush it out a little to give it a little bit of fade. And there you go. A nude eyeliner. It's not exactly like I did it before, but it's close enough. And now we're gonna go ahead and crimp our eyelashes. Try not to pinch your eyelids. Oh, that would hurt so bad. Once you're done crimping your eyelashes, I take my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara and you just shake and pull outward, and that coats all of your eyelashes. You can even do the other method where you brush over the top and then brush under and shake and pull upward. You want to be very careful with this since you do have a nude eyeliner on. It's not really gonna cover up any mistakes if you get a little bit of mascara over it. But after you get all of your eyelashes coated, I usually just leave it at the eyelashes. If you don't have any eyelashes, I'd recommend like a band that's like clear to go over top. That way it's kind of blending in with your eye color that you have on top of here. And I don't usually do the bottom lashes just because they are super long. Now that we're finished with our mascara, I'm gonna go in the same palette and I'm gonna take Fiesta. It's a shimmer shade. I'm going to use a flat brush for this, and I'm gonna use that in my inner corner. Oh, I guess it doesn't work on a brush. Let's pack that on that brush and see if it comes out better. Not really. So I guess it's finger then. So we just take our finger, like so, and we are going to place that in the inner corner. Now that you're done with your inner corner, we're gonna use our NYX Jumbo Eyeliner in the color Melt. And we're gonna take that and place it just in the inner waterline. We want this eye to really pop and be bright. Now that I'm done with this eye, I'm gonna put on the other eye and do the lashes, and I'll be right back. So I know I said I wasn't going to put eyelashes on, but I experimented and I gave you guys two options. That way you could see both. Now we're going to clean it up and conceal our face. I don't use foundation, but if you want to use foundation, you can do that too. And I take Tarte Shape Tape in the color Light, and I just apply that underneath my eyes. I usually do 3 dots on both sides. And then I take my flat brush and I blend that all out. I leave the under eye blank. This helps prevent creasing under the eye. And I carve out where we have the eyeshadow. we use another dot and we go ahead and carve that out. And we make it align with the eyeliner we have on. And you bring this down. And we're going to also do our nose. I only use a little bit for this, and I put some at the tip of my nose as well as the bridge of my nose, and I just bring it downward. I don't go all the way down the bridge of my nose. I leave a little gap. Then I take my beauty blender and I just go over top of that a little bit and blend it out some, as well as the bridge of the nose. And then I do under the eye and I tap for this. And at the edge on the bottom, you can pull and tap. Once you're done with that, you're going to take your powder. I use the Morphe translucent setting powder, and it's a light color. You take some and you put some on your brush. And then you put it all over the area you just put concealer at. This will reduce creasing, prevent transfer, and even help your makeup last longer. And I take a very tiny bit and I brush it over top of my nose areas that I placed concealer as well. Once you've done all that, you want to wipe away any excess setting powder because you don't want it to be too light. Once you finish with the setting powder, you're going to take any nude palette that you have, and I'm going to go ahead and take Toasted, and you're going to just place that under the eye. This will have less creasing than if you were to use concealer. You just want it to be a lighter shade than your dark circles, and you want to make yourself look alive. Now we're going to move on to our blush. The blush that I use is, of course, a Lippie. It is the NYX Powder Puff Lippie, and it is in the color Teacher's Pet. I feel like it's a really good fall color. This product works pretty good for blush. And you just put it on like this. You want to take you a blush brush, and then you just swirl it around in a circular motion, bringing it up towards the temple area. Once you completed that step, you want to move on to contour. And currently I use an eyeshadow palette, and my go-to palette right now is my Pumpkin Spice palette. We're going to use the color Scary Spice, and we're going to take another stiff brush. It is a blush brush as well, and we're just going to take our Scary Spice and we're going to contour with it. I noticed that powders work a little bit better on my skin than creams do. I'm not really sure why. You can use any palette that you have for contour, and you could just take a deep color and you can match your makeup. Make it dark, you can make it brighter, and usually contour is a little bit darker. And that's why I use this palette, because it matches the shade I want. Then we can take another brush that's flat. At the moment I have this angled brush. We're going to use that angled brush and we're going to take a little on our brush. Make sure it is not heavy. And we're going to light-handedly, oh god! That is not what I was expecting. Well, light-handedly place it. You don't want it to be too heavy, so you can fade this out.
Well, that was a disaster.
We're going to blend that out some because that is kind of heavy. And I bring it all the way up to the eyebrow section.
I'd say try not to put it on as heavy as I did.
I kind of follow a natural line I already have, and I bring it in, making it thinner, and you can bring it into a point or however you like your nose thinned out. If you don't like a thin nose, you don't like to contour your nose, you can skip this step. And I just place this over top, underneath, and then you just fade that out.
You just want to go over any harsh lines and blend that out so it gives you a more natural look, creating a shadow.
Once the nose is complete, you go ahead and put it under your lip as well. You want a pouty lip. Who doesn't love a pouty lip? And then I take my fluffy brush, of course, and I am fading it out. You want to make sure everything looks soft and delicate. Otherwise, it's not going to look very natural. Once we're done with that, we can take another fluffy brush, and I just like to soften up the edges. Once you're done with all that, I go ahead and I take my Scary Spice again, and I use that as a lip liner.
And I'm just using a small brush to place this around my lip.
And you just want to edge out your lips.
And I've tried this trick before and it came out okay. It just doesn't last as long as you would think it would last. It lasts maybe a few hours or so. It's not like using lipstick or lip liner where it will last throughout the day, but it is a useful trick if you do like a smoked out lip look, and I definitely enjoy that, and I think it's really beautiful. So you should give it a try too.
Once you finish that, I go ahead and take another fluffy brush and I just fade it out a little.
This will help soften up the edges and you won't have such a harsh line from that eyeshadow that you put on there.
And you'll of course get that overlining.
And I'm just taking a flat brush and I'm cleaning up around the edges.
And I just tap out that area there.
This will blur the outer edges of your lips.
You're gonna go ahead and take your matte liquid lipstick. It's Milani in the color Adorable. And it smells like cake. Like maybe if you wanted to compare it to something, it smells like frosting. It smells really good. And you're gonna go ahead and put this on your lips.
Then I start off by filling in my lower lip very carefully. And then I move on to filling in my upper lip. And you want to make sure you're doing this very carefully as well. That way you're not smudging your lipstick all over the place. And you can fan it dry or you can let it air dry.
And I'm going to go into that same palette or any nude palette that you have that may match your lipstick or your contour.
And then I'm going to go ahead and take that Scary Spice
and just place that over top using my finger.
I use an eyeshadow because it works a little bit better for sealing your lipstick and it makes it a little bit more smudge proof. You can use a translucent powder if you have that as well. And you just want to clean around the edges again just in case you may have made a mistake and you got it a little bit overlined. And this will help make sure that your makeup looks a little bit more flawless and more perfected.
And last but not least, you don't want to forget that setting spray. And I use the Morphe setting spray. And I just spray it all over. And there you have it, my final fall look, and it was inspired by something I'd done in the past. What do you think of it? Did you like this tutorial? Let me know in the comments. If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload. With that being said, bye everyone!